Yeah. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Hey y'all, it's Henny. I'm here today to react to Usher's Tiny Desk Concert, which has been kind of blowing up on Twitter with several viral moments, especially after this past week with the verses and all these niggas that cannot sing.
Because everybody is in the key of flarp, okay? They are flat and sharp at the same time, okay?
So I'm definitely going to get into this. This video is 24 minutes long. My video will not be. And also I'm trying to avoid these copyrights, so I probably won't be playing too much of the music in here, and you'll just be getting my little reactions and commentary after each song, probably. I feel like that's probably a better format anyhow. But yeah, I've been a fan of Usher my whole life. I feel like I mostly kept up with him in the early 2000s because that's where a lot of my formative experiences happened. So of course we have 8701, Confessions. I think I kind of fell off with Usher when he started playing a little more in the electronic sounds. But that's not to say that he's ever had, I don't think Usher has literally ever had a bad album. Ever. And if we're speaking vocally, like, this man is the GOAT. Like, I don't know how many times he has to prove that before people on Twitter stop being disrespectful. Like, if you've seen clips of or footage from his residency, he's moving the same way today as he was when he was 17, 18, 19. Like, he's moving the same way, he's hitting the same notes. Usher and Janet and B, I feel like, are at this level of performance that I just don't think we're ever gonna see again. And it's really fun seeing him actually get to be on this Tiny Desk concert and sort of like kind of put a lot of things in perspective, put a lot of people in check. I know there's a lot of speculation about what kind of career Usher could have had, because I know, like, we all know he's supposed to be like at Beyonce's level, but we just gotta accept that it is what it is. He's still a legendary talent in my opinion. But yeah, let's get into it. I see that for this Tiny Desk he brought on Vito and Eric Bellinger along with a lively horns section, which I'm more than excited about. This fit, Usher's always wearing some weird shit. This is what I'm talking about. Maybe the reason why Usher isn't as far ahead as Beyonce is because he's just weird. He does weird things, he says weird things.
Best friend, the one I used to run and talk to when me and my girl was having problems. She used to say it'll be okay, suggest a little nice things I should do.
One thing that you can always say about Usher is that he is a musician. So I think what we have a lot of today is a lot of singers and performers. And performers in the way where, like, they can get up there, they can, you know, give you some stage presence, hit an 8 count, but it's not about the musicianship. It's about, like, just being able to play the game, so to speak. This arrangement is pretty cool because it still captures the lively energy of the original studio recording, but it's clearly different. Like, you've got a more expansive, like, kind of horn and string section, and the keyboards, like, it's a lot more open in the mix. But Usher's voice still has that weight to it that, like, there's like a fire to his voice. Like, I feel like other people would be drowning in this arrangement. There's so many people that are just not resonant when it comes to live arrangements, and it's very embarrassing. But yeah, I can understand the frustration from Usher, as well as a Sean Stockman from Boyz II Men, and even Duran Bernard, who was on live being hella shady, tagging mad people. You know something? I'm here for people actually coming for the male R&B singers. I need to stop using that term. I actually hate it. For the mask R&B singers. I'm here for them getting dragged too, because for too long I've been seeing the new girls don't know how to sing videos, and it's just like, it is like pretty blatantly sexist. But it is pretty funny to see that the men are now getting the lashings too, because honestly, I've thought for the past decade or so that this vibey, like, mood singing is so unsustainable. It sounds really cool. It's a very intimate sound when you're listening to it through, like, earphones, or when you're in the car and you're just out for like a drive and you just need something vibey to be on the road with. But the fact that nobody has been singing in a clear tone, well, let me not say nobody, because that's not true. Like, clearly we have the Duran Bernards In my opinion, I think Josh Levi also has a very clear tone. Chris Brown had it for a minute, but you know, his scandal and subsequent like drug and alcohol abuse kind of stripped a lot of that quality away from his voice. And I just don't think he's developed his musicianship to where it should be at this point in his career. He plays around too much, does whatever in a studio, puts out too much nonsense music. But to me, like, I think Josh Levi is one of those really great clear tones that I'm actually excited for. But yeah, people don't sing with that clear tone anymore. It's just, I don't know. You kind of tend to miss it. Like, I can handle a vibey production, but if the voice is just like swimming in the production, it doesn't stick with you in the long run. I just call it like playlist music. I think this was a wonderful example of how to properly engage your core when singing in a head voice. Because too often, for an example, Gibby Ain't and his terrible BET performance, well, it wasn't all terrible, but it was very rocky, in which he just like didn't quite understand how to change the key to match where his voice was at. So he was trying to hit notes that he clearly wasn't warmed up for, and just wasn't engaging his core. He was kind of like buckled over trying to hit these high notes. This is like technical skill and musicianship, and it doesn't sound boring. Like, there's musicality in this too. You don't have to go so far into one direction where it's like just nothing but like stylistic vibey singing. That shit is so goddamn grating, and it's not sustainable. We've already gone through this. SZA went through this on her Control tour. She encountered the same thing. She was out here making tweets about, oh my god, my voice is shot. I don't know if I can even sing anymore. Like, she had to learn the same thing. You can't do the stylistic singing all the time. You have to find a happy medium. Yes, your voice is unique to you and works a particular way for your physiology, but you still have to factor in the technicality of singing. Like, please. We want to hear from your amazing, unique voice in like 10, 15, 20 years. Usher has a long career for a reason. But yeah, this was incredible.
What you wanna do, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Situations. Come on, y'all.
Okay, you don't have to call us literally why I bought this album on vinyl. Don't ask me how much I paid for it. It's an embarrassing amount, but it's why I own this vinyl. 8701. But yeah, when he sings this, it reminds me so much of like those old clips of like Teddy Pendergrass, where he's just sitting there like smiling and hitting these impossible fucking notes, and it looks so effortless. Usher's literally singing this the same way. And it's kind of sending me.
Let's go. Hey. Yeah. Oh. It's 7 on the. I'm in my. Yeah.
I love Nice and Slow. I also love that Usher's music is kind of having this resurgence among the younger generation of artists. I think the first time I caught on to that was Ivy Soul's Overgrown project. I forgot which song on there is it, but she interpolates this opening lyric of Nice and Slow, and it's just like absolutely fantastic, especially hearing her in that, like, they just have this very like Philly soul way of singing, even though they are a like hip-hop artist and rapper, but it captures this energy perfectly. Like, it's so good. Okay, I knew he could not get away with doing this Tiny Desk and not do Confessions Part 2, because I'm excited to see what this arrangement's gonna be like.
Every time you called, I told you, baby, I'm working. I was out doing my dirt. I wasn't thinking about you getting hurt.
I'm sorry for Vito and Eric Bellinger just Like the softest notes ever. Why aren't you leaning into the mic? Give us the actual harmony. Okay, and what's funny is that Stockman was on Twitter complaining about how hip hop is what killed R&B because once those genres were married, men felt the need to play more into the rapping thing and like the thug image rather than like bearing your soul and giving like a really good vocal. Um, Usher does both, and on Confessions, he is rap singing. He was like actually one of the earliest, to my recollection, progenitors of that particular sound. Um, it was him. B was doing it on Destiny's Child, and quite a few others. Like Mary J did it. Of course, Mariah Carey did it in her own way with those staccato, like high notes. But Usher is doing the same thing, and I don't think that is less musicianship. I think it actually takes a lot of skill and breath support to pull out. I actually think it takes a lot of skill and breath support to correctly utilize staccato delivery like this. And yes, it's something that can be like kind of imitated to a lesser degree, and I feel like that's what a lot of music is today. But when it's done correct, when it's done right, and with musicality, in a lot of ways, it can be undefeated. I feel like this is a big part of why Confessions was the hit that it was. So that's where I kind of disagree with Stockman. I feel like that critique was like kind of a blanket statement, and I understand his frustration, but it's just so lazy. It's so lazy.
Drop 'em. Hey, oh, hey, hey.
What is this? I used to sing this song literally every single day in 4th grade when we went to computer lab. I was too damn young to be singing this song, especially given the subject matter. But me and my friend Aaron Dennis, Aaron, if you're out there, joint tour soon because we really tore this shit the fuck up. But yeah, this iconic song. Was I way too young? Yes. Was it still iconic? Absolutely. You gotta bite your lip. You gotta bite every single time.
Yeah.
Every time I hear or listen to My Way, I just wonder how much Dupree did how much of the writing on this song was done by Jermaine Dupri, because I can't just unhear it as a Jermaine Dupri song. Like, it's just like quintessentially him. But Usher really sings down on this. My roommate tweeted about how this arrangement should be on Spotify, and like literally I'm less than a minute in. And I agree. I don't understand why Tiny Desk does not have a Spotify at this point. It's actually kind of egregious because so many artists have come on here and given like performances of their songs that blow the studio recording out of the water. Step your cookies up. I'm tired. You can tell as he's singing this that he's transported back to when he was 17, or maybe 18 is when that album came out. I was mad young when his debut came out, so I wasn't familiar with it until way later. Like, I don't think I actually listened to it in full until I was like maybe 16, 17. Whenever I got my iPod Touch and like, you know, got an iTunes account is when I actually listened to the full album. But yeah, you can tell he's kind of revisiting his heyday in this performance. But you see what I'm talking about? How he's skirting the line between like rapping and singing, and it's still like musical. Like, you cannot deny his vocal ability even in this. You can't say that for a lot of the new girls. And by new girls, I mean the new boys. So yeah, let's talk about how Usher just sat there for 25 minutes and sang a whole set, and Givion's voice gave out less than a minute, 30 seconds into his own song that he's been performing for a year. I feel like the new dudes are not taking their job seriously, because if you're going to be a singer, you should probably be able to sing. Alright, y'all, that was my reaction to Usher's Tiny Desk Concert. Absolutely incredible, phenomenal vocalist, legendary vocalist, top tier vocalist. A lot of the dudes should be scared. I'm just saying, either that or pull up to Usher's residency with a notepad, take Duran Bernard's masterclass, do something. But do something other than play in our faces, because this is how it's done. Points blank through period. This is how it's done. There's no excuse. But yeah, that was my reaction to Usher's Tiny Desk, as well as this week's cycle of discussion on Twitter having to do with male R&B singers and how they're just not stepping it up. But yeah, I will catch y'all on the flip side. Thank you for supporting, and don't forget to comment, like, share whenever I put this on YouTube.